limitations about financing for reconstruction, given what's going on elsewhere in the world and the diminishing amount of money going to humanitarian projects?
Yeah, well, I think there are two questions, but they're not necessarily related. The first one is official development assistance, including humanitarian assistance, has always been precious. We've always had to leverage other sources of income. That's as long as sort of I've been working for the UN. However, the reconstruction of Gaza is a very tall order. The amounts are significant given the state of destruction. What we need is clarity on the politics, the governance arrangements, as well as security, and then there'll be a mix of public and private financing. I'm not counting on official development assistance alone. Then, of course, we will look towards the European Union, we will look towards the countries of the Gulf states. There's also a big factor here, which is private sector, investment financing and risk financing. All that can be constructed. My team under 2720 has done a number of studies, and I know the World Bank has done as well. At the moment, in a strange way, that is the least of my worries. It's the politics and governance to get to do the job to recover and reconstruct Gaza. Thank you.
I'd ask a follow-up question. Are you going to Washington, and do you plan to meet any officials from the Trump administration? And if so, I see in your remarks that you have totally rejected the president's idea of pulling all Palestinians out of Gaza and making it into the Mideast Riviera.
Well, I think the paraphrasing is yours, Edie, if I may. I'm not going to Washington this time, but I'll be back in a few weeks, and I hope to meet with a number of American officials in the region. In this case, they travel so much, you don't have to go to Washington. You might actually catch them closer to home, so to speak. And of course, we will be in contact with all officials, because the UN, as I stated very clearly, wants to be supportive to all efforts. We're not at the negotiations table. Now, I think the Secretary General, the Palestinians themselves, countries of the region have been very clear from the first second that forced displacement of the Palestinians from Gaza is both not acceptable, it's a violation of international law, and Palestinians themselves don't want it, and countries of the region don't want it. Gaza can be recovered and reconstructed. It is complicated, complex, but with political will and the right agreements, it can be done. And I'd like to remind everybody, Palestinians are phenomenal builders. They've even built illegal settlements.